Chapter 32, Age-Related Macular Degeneration and Genetics. And this is specific training for the AMD sensor genetic test. You will find this test here in the overview. And as you can see here, it's got two functions. It's important for prevention, and this test will help you with early diagnosis. In case of treatment, it's not as effective, so this test would not be recommended to people that have already developed macular degeneration, but for prevention, early detection. Now, macular degeneration, just a quick overview, is the most common cause of blindness in people over 60, and it is a gradual degeneration of the retina, the light-sensitive cells in your eye. And as you can see here, it starts exactly where you want to look. So in the center field of vision, it becomes blurry, it becomes gray, and eventually you don't see anything anymore. And this begins to spread out from there. And you will always, or most people always, retain vision or this outside field of view, but they cannot read or anything like this. Then it is irreparable damage. So once the damage has been done, it's usually impossible to recover the function. So prevention is very important in this case. And there are a number of known risk factors. And if we look at the gene, one of the genes, HTRA1, HTRA serpin peptidase, and this here is a kind of catalog number for the genetic variation. This is what the gene does. You can read up on it. And in case this table doesn't mean anything to you, please do check the training for simple disease risk statistics. They're going to explain this to you in more detail. So this person has a GG genotype, so a G on each gene. 51% of the general population have this genetic type as well, and this would be no increased risk of macular degeneration. 41% have AG, they have a 2.2-fold risk. Again, odds ratio is explained in the disease risk statistics. And 8% have a 8.6-fold risk. And this is the science behind it in case you're interested to check up. And you will find this exactly in this form in the report. The second gene is actually not really a gene, it's a genetic location where a certain genetic variation has shown to be associated with the disease. 1% would have an increased risk of odds ratio 8-fold risk. 38% have a risk of 2.69, so 169% higher risk, and 61%, so the majority, would have no increased risk. Again, this is the science. And this is the last gene. One genetic type would have odds ratios 4, and the other type a 12-fold risk. Now, we would do this test, we combine all of this information together, and in the end, we create this kind of bar. So this arrow shows you where you are. It can be normal risk, or it can be highly increased risk, and the further you are on this bar, the higher your risk is, the more important prevention is for you, and the more important early detection is. Now, scientific studies have shown that a high concentration of antioxidants, certain vitamins, are beneficial for the development or against the development of the disease or the progression of the disease. So a high antioxidant diet or therapy is recommended for high risks. So also if you order the nutrition sensor, this table of different genetic of different food types that are rated according to your genetics are going to take this into account. So if you have high risk and you order the nutrition sensor, you're going to be recommended food types that contain the antioxidants. And in addition, we do have this supplement where we take all of these antioxidants in the right dosage based on your genetic risk and make sure that you do get the right dosage of each one of these vitamins. Now, the test, as I said, is useful for prevention as well as early detection. In case you already have the disease, the test is not going to give you any benefit. So really, I would not recommend it to people already affected by the disease, but for people who have not got the disease yet. And the preventive measures that can be done is, one very important thing is avoid UV radiation to the eyes. The sun has UV radiation, that's why you can also get skin cancer, so it's bad radiation in the sunlight. And you should do your best to avoid getting too much UV radiation into your eyes. And this can be done by sunglasses as well as a hat. So really try to reduce exposure of sunlight to your eyes. That's the most important factor. Then avoid smoking, because smoking produces a lot of waste products that are then accumulating inside the retina, and they can then accelerate the development of the disease. So it's not just about lung cancer, but smoking has a number of other detrimental effects as well. Then you should follow an antioxidant therapy, so eat lots of food that contains high amounts of antioxidants. And this is the prevention. So if you do this, you can reduce your risk. You have a high genetic risk, but you have optimized your lifestyle to reduce your risk again. And early detection is the next part. With early detection, there is a self-test that you can do. And this is actually part of the report. You will find it in the report. And if this test shows you that you have the first signs of the disease, you can immediately go to your doctor and begin timely treatment to slow the progression of the disease, and maybe stop it completely. And this here is the test. And the instructions are in the report, but what you do is you hold this grid around 30 centimeters, about a foot, in front of your eyes. You close one eye with your hand, and you look at the dot in the middle. And then you see if any of the lines that you see are if they're all straight, which is good, or if they are kind of wavy. And if they're wavy, that might be the first signs of a change in your retina, and then you should go and talk to your doctor immediately. And then you do the same for the other eye. If you do this regularly, maybe once a week, you will find the first changes immediately, talk to your doctor, and then you can get the best possible treatment because you recognize it in time. As I said, if you wait until you have the first vision problems, these are very likely not to go away anymore. That's the end of chapter 32, Macular Degeneration and Genetics as specific training for the AMD sensor genetic test.